it. Uh, all right, thank you for that. Before we dive right into it, I would love to hear from us, understand where we are joining us from. I'm Chukwemeka, and I'm joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. So I want to hear from you as well, so that I'll know how we can converse today and get this session ongoing. So just put in the chat box your name and the location of where you are joining us from. All right, thank you for that, guys. Okay, Josephine from Nigeria, Abuja, amazing. Josephine is in the capital city of Nigeria. Adam is joining from the capital city of Nigeria. So it's like that's where everything is happening today. Wow. Wow. So I want to hear from others. So where are you joining us from? Treasure from Scotland. Amazing. Amazing. So I would love to hear where others are. Joy from Abuja, Amy from Abuja. What's going on today? What is happening? Abuja people, please, is there still space? All right, Maureen from Ibadan and Mohammed from Canada. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So I want to hear from everyone, right? So just keep dropping it for me while I bring up my screen so that we can easily see what we are about to do today. Okay. Please confirm if you can see my screen. Josephine, Aimoa, anybody, just confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, Chukimota.
All right, fantastic, fantastic. Okay. So why I've already seen and have seen where we are joining us from, I would also love to know if today is the first time we are joining this session so that I can tailor it down to beginner stage, or if I can, converse with everybody here on a high level, right? So I'd love to know if today is the first time you are joining us. So if today is your first time of joining us, just drop a 1 in the chat box. And if today is not your first time, you can drop a 2 or any number or as you feel like, right? But if today's your first time, just do well to drop a 1 so that I will know how and if you've been in any of our sessions before now. Okay? So these are just me trying to get to know you so that I can tailor down the session to fit your own persona. All right. So just tell me, type in a 1 if today's your first time. If today's not your first time, you can type any number that you find amazing. Okay, Amy has dropped a 1. Alma has dropped a 1. Fantastic. So we'll have a couple of people that today is the first time they are joining us on this session. Here is very dull. What's going on? All right, I want to hear from everyone. So I'm going to start calling names. I want to hear from everyone so that I can get to carry us along so that this can easily flow. All right, so Adjasa, Benjamin, Joy. Okay, Joy, I've said something. Maureen, Wisdom, Maxim, Mohammed. All right, so I'm asking if today is the first time you are joining us, and if today is your first time of being on the call with us, just drop a 1. And if today is not your first time, you are free to drop any number that you deem fit. Okay, so we are still waiting for a couple of people to join us, and we're going to start instantly. Immediately it's 8:10, right? Immediately it's 10 minutes past 8 West African time. We are going to get right into it. But if you are just joining us, we're just trying to get to know each other. If tell us where you're joining us from, type in a 1 if today is the first time of joining us, so that we can get to understand the demography of people that we have on the call tonight. All right. Okay, I think I have a couple of chats. I have a 1, I have a 3 from Wisdom Ame. Okay, Wisdom, that means you've been with us before now. Fantastic. And I have another 1 from Maureen and from Elijah. Wisdom is joining us from FCT Abuja. Something is definitely going on in Abuja today, because we have a lot of people joining us from the capital city of Nigeria today. All right, guys. So let's get right into it. Basically, what we're here to discuss tonight is about why tech recruiters choose Scrum Masters over project managers, right? So what we've noticed that within the recruitment trend, there have been a significant growth from the decisions made by recruitment managers to choose Scrum Masters over project managers. And that is why we are here today. We're here today so that we'll get to understand the reason why this is so, and also get to explain to you who Scrum Masters are, so that you can be able to make decisions about your transitioning into the tech space, so that you have a seamless journey and seamless transition. So, like I mentioned before, now our topic today is why tech recruiters choose Scrum Masters over project managers. And if today is the first time you are joining us, from what I've seen from the demography, we are Tenalytics, right? And who are we? We are basically an educational technology company that help the Black community to transition from any current field that they are in into the tech ecosystem. And how this became a thing is from our founders noticing that when they needed help in the tech ecosystem, they couldn't find the Black community easily to help or to interact with. So at any point that they didn't get anything, they always have to deal with the videos from the Indians, or they'll have to do with videos that are not really tailored down to their own culture and speaking understandings, right? So that's how analytics came about, where now said, okay, how do we help the Black people, the Black community, to get into the tech ecosystem? And that's how analytics came about, right? And our services range across a lot of data ecosystem field, between business analysis, HR analytics, financial analytics, data science, data analytics, cyber security, and of course, Scrum Master, which is the main reason why we are here. And our sessions are tailored down to beginner-friendly courses where you get to understand things from the ground zero to the expert level. So even if before now you don't have any knowledge in any of this field, we tend to groom you from the initial stage of you having zero knowledge to the extent of you becoming an expert in that area. Our courses are also tailored down with case study scenarios that we get from real life experiences from our facilitators that come from diverse sectors and reputable organizations like Amazon, Deloitte, KPMG, Access Bank, InterSwitch, depending on where they are, right? And these are the reasons why we are best in this game, because our facilitators are experts in their own real life journeys, right? So they come into the classroom to help and teach us and make us understand everything that we need to know pertaining to the programs that we are transitioning into. And this is Adeza Suleiman. So Adeza Suleiman is our founder, and he's a data analytics expert. He has over a decade experience playing as a data science consultant, as a data analyst, as a business performance analyst in diverse sector. He's been a management consultant, and he's worked in the sports ecosystem, professional services, energy and gas, and of course, automobile sectors. Personally, at Adeza have helped close to 10,000 participants transition into the tech ecosystem. And we also have Efemena Ipro, who is the co-founder of Tenalytics, and he has over a decade experience as a data science contractor in UK, US, Canada, Ireland, right? And he played in multiple roles as a business intelligence developer, as a data analyst, as a data engineer, and of course, as a power platform developer. So we have these guys, they are the engine room, basically the brain behind the operations of Tenalytics. And today, of course, I have with me the amazing Josephine Boza. So Josephine, do you mind saying anything before I introduce you? Hi, Josephine.
Hi, Chukwemeka. How are you doing? How is everyone doing? Thank you so much. You've been doing a brilliant work. I'm so excited about what we're going to discuss today. So I'll just give you the time to, do all of the groundwork while we talk about the main thing very much later. Thank you. Was I audible? Please confirm if I was audible. I'm guessing Chukwemeka didn't hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you now, Josephine.
Okay, awesome. So I'm like, you know what? I'm really excited about what we want to discuss today. So you go ahead, do your thing, lay the groundwork, and then we can come back to discuss the most interesting stuff. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. I think my second screen sort of went off, so I'm going to bring it up right now so that we can instantly continue. But just I don't know whether you introduced yourself while I was battling with my network. Did you introduce yourself, or I should do the honors?
Actually, yes. please do the honors. Yeah, I'm more interested in discussing Scrum, but it's okay.
Oh, oh, fantastic. You're just being a very humble. All right, so Josephine is a certified professional Scrum Master, and she played with over a decade experience in this exact space. She's also an accomplished agile coach, and she is very, very dominant in the fintech area. She's very, very dominant in the educational sector. So when we say that we have facilitators that are very, very keen with personal development of others, that are very, very keen with helping people transition into this exact environment, we are talking about people like Josephine. And she's actually a sought after speaker and contributor with respect to these communities that we have. She has a proven track record, and she is the amazing person that will be speaking to us today with respect to why recruiters tend to choose Scrum Masters over project managers. Hi, Adam, please, do you mind making my second screen a host so I can share my screen, please? Hi, Adam, are you there? Hi, Adam.
Yeah, Chukemeka, can you hear you?
Yeah, please, do you mind making my second screen a co-host so I can share my screen? All right, thank you for that. So we are going to jump right into it. I think we'll have enough people on the call for us to immediately start this amazing session. And while we are here, my colleague Aimoa will be dropping the attendance list in the chat box so that we can easily, fill in our attendance so that at the end of this session, you can get the materials and also get the recording of this slide. I am Chukwuemeka Ikpa. I've played as a data analyst, I've played as a regional control and data protection in the banking sector, had experience as a valuation analyst, and basically right now I'm the COO of Tenalytics. And we are here tonight to tell you why recruiters tend to choose Scrum Masters over project managers. Okay, so what are we going to be doing tonight, right? So first, the main thing that we're going to be talking about is basically who is a Scrum Master, right? We're going to help you understand who Scrum Masters are and why tech recruiters choose Scrum Masters over project managers. And then we're going to go to Jira and do a little magic to make you see, okay, this is why Scrum Masters actually sought after more than these guys, right? So we do all these things, and then we'll move towards telling you the pathway to becoming a Scrum Master. How do you transition to be a Scrum Master, right? And then, of course, our special offer to you, which we, from the bottom of our hearts, has presented this to you. So by virtue of you being on this call, we have a special discounted offer. And then, of course, we're also going to talk about our Tenalytics Growth Internship program. Hi, Josephine, are you there? Are you excited to start? So before we jump right into this exact reason why tech recruiters choose Scrum Masters over project managers, I'm going to just give a brief intro of who Scrum Masters are. So in the project management world, you sort of have two major arms, right? We have the waterfall aspect of project management, and then we have the agile methodologies aspect of project management. So waterfall are basically the people making use of traditional means to do project management, why the agile guys are making use of either the Kabal, the Scrum, the Lean methodologies to practice their own project management, right? So all these are all project managers, but it is how they choose to do their job that now makes them different, right? So if someone wants to wash their clothes today, and one person decides to use their hand to wash their clothes, so basically that person is making use of traditional method, and that's waterfall. And then if another person decides to make use of the washing machine, and after washing it, the person decides to use the dryer to dry, that person is applying or making use of the modern project management style, which is basically the agile methodologies and the Scrum methodologies, of course. So that is the difference between these two guys. They all play in the same field, but it's now the approach that differs. So I'm going to bring on Josephine before we enter into the aspect of the practicals and all that, so that we can basically talk about why do tech recruiters actually choose Scrum Masters over project managers. Hi, Josephine, are you there?
Yes. Where else will I be? This is the most interesting place to be at the moment. Okay, so you've actually done a very, very good job. So I'm just going to give more details, but brilliant work. Thank you, Chipemika. So the reason why tech recruiters would choose Scrum Masters, the reasons are not far-fetched, if you ask me. There are very, very obvious reasons. And you just talked, so you gave a very good example that has to do with if you're washing with your hand, you want to wash your clothes, either you wash with your hand or you could use a more effective and efficient means, which is the washing machine. So this is not to downplay the project managers. Project managers are good. I mean, everything actually started from project management. There's no project manager and there is no scrum master without project management. We are all managing projects. Yeah, but the thing about managing projects is that there is a modern method of managing projects. So the project managers have a methodology which is called the waterfall methodology, and that is also known as the traditional method. But there is a much more modern method because the world is evolving. The things that you like 5 years ago, 2 years, even last week is not the same thing that you like this week. And the thing about being Scrum Masters that these things even show in our daily lives. Everybody wants everything fast. We want fast cars, we want fast food. Everything has to be fast. You go into a grocery store, you don't want to waste your time. You want to quickly get the things that you need, pay through, swipe your card, and that's it. And sometimes we don't even have the time to go to the grocery store. You want to make your orders online. There are e-commerce stores where you can do your shopping and you have it delivered to you. And so, because the world is evolving, things are also evolving, organizations are evolving as well. There's high demand for Scrum Masters because organizations need to get to the market faster. They need to get their products or services to the market faster. And the truth about the matter is, we see this thing play even in the social media platforms that we're using. A lot of us are on Facebook, are on Instagram. If Zook had not started Facebook, somebody will. I know some people on this call who will be like, oh, I had this idea, there's this thing I wanted to do, but while you were not seeing the idea, while you were still trying to get this idea to work, other people ran with it. And that's what Scrum is about. Organizations are demanding for Scrum Masters. Why? One simple reason is that we understand what it takes with the Scrum methodology to deliver products and services very fast to the market, and not just fast, we're delivering frequently. So it's a game of numbers and it's a game of time as well. And we all know time is efficient. Everybody wants to ensure that you are on time. Your 24 hours needs to be managed. And the same thing organizations are looking out for. It's a competition. You start up a business today, it's not an entirely new idea. Someone else has the same thing. But of course, you have your USP, which is your unique selling point. But regardless, you want to ensure that you need to get to the market as fast as possible. You want the biggest market share. And for you to do that, you need a Scrum methodology. So over time, the Scrum practices have been tested and trusted. So organizations will always go for who can get us to the market faster, who can help us, make more sales, who can help us get to the users or to the customers, and customers are giving feedback in real time. All this can be done with the Scrum practices. So as a Scrum Master, you are a Scrum expert. You know what it takes. You have what it takes to deliver products and services to the market timely. And then not just having what it takes, you understand the methodologies, the step-by-step methodology to get this thing done. So currently, right now, organizations are paying premium. And oftentimes I hear people say, "Oh, Josephine, why are you into Scrum? Why are you a Scrum Master?" And I'm like, it's because of the money. The money is sweet. Let's not even lie. The tech route is really, really strenuous. You want to be a software engineer, that's fine. You want to be a DevOps engineer, that's fine. But the easiest way to get into tech without writing a single line of code and still earn premium is being a Scrum Master. All you need to do is understand what the Scrum methodology is about, understand the Scrum framework, understand how this thing works, and you're able to use these principles to deliver products to the market. Yeah. So I think I'm going to use your slide, Chukwemeka. So please do me the honors of let's moving with the slide before we get hands-on to other things that we need to do. Now, the question is, why would tech recruiters want to say we would prefer a scrum master than a project manager? Not downplaying project managers again, they have an awesome methodology, but as the world evolves, they're very, very complex products. They are very complex products. And with the waterfall methodology, you can successfully bring about a complex product to the market on time. I'll give you a very good example. Say you have an idea, yeah, to build. What can we use? Okay, let's say you have a beautiful idea to have another social media platform, and then this idea is still in your head. With the waterfall, it starts from, it's more like a waterfall, literally like a waterfall. We've all seen waterfall before. It starts from down, also it flows from down up, from up down. Yeah, that's how it flows. So with waterfall, you want to take your time. Waterfall is in sequence, it's stage by stage, more like you're climbing stairs. If you're going to climb a staircase, you're going to climb one step at a time. So that's how waterfall is. So you're going to take your beautiful time to say, oh, this is the idea. I have this idea. From the idea, you want to implement the idea. So first thing, you want to do research. So your research is going to take weeks or even months trying to research. After researching, you want to design. Oh, let me even design this idea. How is it going to look? After designing, then you want to implement. So it's like you taking your precious time trying to get this project out. And before you know, it's probably going to take you like 6 to 12 months or even more getting the full project out. But with Scrum is not going to take 6 to 12 months. In 2 weeks, we'll have an iteration whereby the customer is seeing the product in beat by beat by beat. Do you understand? So let's say we want to build, for instance, a car that flies. So we're not going to wait till 6 months time to bring out the car to the market and say, hey guys, we're bringing it out. This car cannot just, move on the road. It can also fly. What if in 6 months time, there's a government law or regulation that says, oh, no car of this nature should be imported? Or what if it gets to the market, users have new tastes? I'll say, you know what, we don't actually like cars that fly. And that flops, that's the end of the project. So, but with Scrum, every 2 weeks, you're bringing out a particular bit of the product, taking it to the market and getting feedback from the customers. And you know our tastes change. So you can't afford to take your precious time of 6 months or 4 months trying to get a product to the market. And by the time you get to the market, you don't know what surprise is going to hit you. And by that time, you've lost time, you've lost money, a whole lot of things have gone down the drain. But with the Scrum methodology, every 2 weeks, we are bringing about an increment. An increment is a value. Okay, we say we want to build a car that flies. So this week, we're getting the tire out. The next week, we're getting the windscreen out. You know what? There's always a value every week till we get all the parts of the car assembled. So one of the things that the tech recruiters would want to employ a Scrum Master is a specialized skill set. The Scrum Masters typically possess specialized knowledge and skills in agile methodologies. A lot of organizations are transitioning from the waterfall to agile because at the end of the day, it's about getting your business to the market. So let's say you get to the market and you want to buy a detergent, whatever detergents you want to buy, really do not even have the idea of the detergents, or you just want to get detergent. So you get to the grocery store, you're definitely going to pick what you see. The first thing that poses at your face is what you're going to pick. And you have an idea to make detergent, but you're still at the making stage, you're still preparing it, you're still trying to get it designed, you're still trying to do all of those work, you want it to be perfect. Actually, there is no perfect work. So Scrum is saying that you want to make detergent, that's fine. We have a way to make it in bits. We're bringing a prototype. We're not bringing the whole detergent. We're bringing a prototype to the customer. Say, hey, customer, try this. Do you like it? Then give us our feedback. Oh, you can make it bigger. You can make it thicker. You can make it more brighter and all of that. So we go back with the feedback, make something else, take it back to the customer, say, hey, customer, what do you think about this? So that feedback from the customer will help us get things right. And you and I will agree that the very first Instagram and the very first Facebook a platform that we started using was not this beautiful, was not this interesting. Every time they keep releasing new features that makes it more interesting, and that's what Scrum is about. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be awesome. You have an idea, bring it out. We have the methodologies that would bring it out, sort of bring it to life. That's what I'm trying to. That's the word. Bring it to life. And while we're trying to bring it to life, get it to the customers, we get their feedback. We keep, more like a continuous improvement, continuous development till it becomes very fantastic. Yeah, so we have that skill set. We are good. We have the Scrum. We understand the Scrum framework. We understand the Scrum principles. We understand the Scrum events. We understand what it means to work with everyone in the ecosystem to bring about a superb product. Now, the next thing we want to look out is, I'd like to look at the next thing. So after the specialized skill sets, which we have as Scrum Masters, now the next thing we're looking out for, that's not quite clear.
All right. I think my screen is frozen. Yeah,
okay,
I think my screen is frozen. I'm trying to bring.
Okay. I think at this point, I'm thinking of sharing my screen. What do you think? Hi, Chukwemeka. Do you think I should share my screen? Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so that we can move a lot more faster. Yeah, if that is okay. So is my screen visible? Please kindly let me know the comment section if my screen is visible. And now I have my laptop trying to be funny, but we'll get to it. So what is the second thing that we have? Chumika, please just let me know, and then we will talk about that. So is my screen visible, or you're still sharing yours?
Yours is visible now. Yours is visible.
Okay, but I really have, okay, I think my laptop is trying to be funny, but yeah. Okay, so yes, I have it up. I think I'll just put it in a slideshow to make it much more visible. So the second thing that the tech recruiters would want to employ a Scrum Master is that the collaboration. So what does a Scrum Master do? The beautiful thing about a Scrum Master is that you're collaborating with everybody in the tech ecosystem. So depending on the project you're working, as a Scrum Master, you're going to be working with a software engineer. You're going to be working with a DevOps engineer. You're going to be working with the cybersecurity analyst, the business analyst, almost like everybody in the tech ecosystem. And it makes you more grounded. It makes you much more knowledgeable. And aside that, we're collaborating together. Okay, we're collaborating together. And one unique thing about Scrum is that Scrum is saying that we are self-organizing, we're self-managing. So as a team, in the Scrum team, the Scrum guy says in the Scrum team, you have the product owner, who is the person that liaises with the stakeholder to bring to life that idea that the stakeholder has, or whoever it is, the CEO or venture capitalist, I mean, the brain behind the idea, basically. And then we have the Scrum Master and we have the development team. Now, in the development team, it's the variety of skill sets. So you could have the software engineers, you could have the QA, which is the quality analyst. I mean, varieties of skill sets. And what that means is that we are all collaborating together to bring about the release of a particular project or product that we're working on. So it is not working in silos. More of the things that you see in your usual organization is that as project managers, you're working with people in silos. So this Mr. A, who is, for instance, a software engineer, is working separately, and the other person doesn't know what Mr. A is working on. In the Scrum team, there's a lot of transparency. We know what everybody's working on. We're collaborating together. It's a cross-functional team, meaning that there is a variety of skill sets and we are all working together. It is not a silos thing, working in silos that I don't know what the DevOps engineer is working on. The DevOps engineer doesn't know what the software engineer is working on. That's not what the Scrum principle is about. So collaborating together brings about working efficiently and fast, delivering fast. So if we're collaborating together, we all understand what the goal is, what the sprint goal is, what the product goal is. We understand that we need to deliver this particular increment in this iteration, and we're working together. So I, as a Scrum Master, I understand the skill set and that these people are professionals. The software engineers are professionals. I don't need to micromanage anybody. I don't need to baby anybody as a Scrum Master. So I understand that you are a professional the same way I'm a professional, and you understand the expectations, whatever expectations that you have as a software engineer. I trust that you would deliver on this, right? So the next thing we want to look at is the adaptability and flexibility. Scrum is flexible. Nothing is cast on stone. If we're using the waterfall methodology, the waterfall methodology says that we need to take things in sequence, bit by bit. So imagine that it took you about 6 months to, get the idea, research on the idea, do the design, have the process flow, and the software engineers or the developers start coding and all of that. And by the time we're done bringing out this product, you now start hearing feedback from the user say, oh, this thing can be better like this. It can be more blue. It can be more white. It can be stronger. It can be this. That is it. The change at that point is not flexible because you've almost concluded and completed the project. But with Scrum, we're releasing in iteration. We're releasing increments in bits. So if we're working on a car, for instance, we don't need to work on the whole car. In 2 weeks, for instance, we release the tire. So when we release the tire to the customer, it's okay for the customer to say, you know what, this tire is not rugged, is not this, is not that. We take the feedback. We can always change. We can always make changes. Unlike when we've finished the project, we've completed the project. At that point, when you're making changes, it's not easy to change. So if you say, oh, I don't like the color of this thing, or this thing is supposed to act this way, that will take us back to the first stage, which is the research stage, trying to go again, research, design, implement, do a whole lot of work. So with Scrum, change is constant, yeah, because we understand that your taste can change based on your status, based on a whole lot of indices. So when customers give us their feedback, we've released something in bits and they give us their feedback. We go back, implement that feedback and give it back to them and say, okay, do you like it this way? But with waterfall, we cannot easily change. Change is not easily done in the waterfall. And then the performance improvement. Scrum Masters play a pivotal role in improving team productivity, quality, and delivery speed. Delivery speed, if there's anything, if there is any reason why I am in business, I'm in the market, I'm working for an organization, is that the organization trusts that I have what it takes to deliver speedily. Count it. There's a whole lot. The organization you're currently working for, it's not just, they are not the ones doing the only thing that your organization is doing. There are countless of tech organizations out there. And the beauty of Scrum is that you don't just work in a tech organization. Scrum applies anywhere. You can apply Scrum in your home. Yes, you can, because you can apply it to real life. You can work as a Scrum Master in the health organization, in the media organization, in insurance, name it, wherever, with government. Scrum is just a methodology that helps organizations to deliver speedily, efficiently, and frequently. You want to tell your customers that I'm always going to be improving on this product. So they're going to be seeing improvement. And do you know that we see improvements even with the social media platforms that we use? Anytime that your app updates itself, there's a new feature that was released. Anytime your Instagram updates, anytime your Facebook updates, there's a new feature that is released. I was seeing today, or I think it was on Instagram, where the Meta CEO was saying that by 2024, which is this year, they are going to start monetizing for the Nigerian content creators. They're going to start monetizing Instagram for them. And that's another feature that wants to be released very soon. And that's how it is with Scrum. We're releasing in bit by bit. We're not waiting to say, let's build Instagram to be perfect. Everything has to be awesome before we get it out there. Good news is that while you're waiting, taking your precious time, someone else is running with your idea. He's releasing probably not the best thing, but something that he's releasing in the market, and then he's getting feedback. Even when you want to download an application, you read reviews. Why are you reading reviews? It's not the best. The application is not 100%, but whoever has the application has released it in the most, raw form that he or she can, and is waiting for your feedback. So when you want to download an application, be it an e-commerce store, you're looking, you want to read reviews. And what are the reviews? Does it have a 5-star rating? What are people saying about this application? The good thing is that you're not the only one who needs that review. The people who are building that application are also going through the review, going back to the drawing board, which is Scrum, to say, okay, guys, this is what they're saying about our application. People are not able to go live, or the login button is not working properly. So what the Scrum thing is that they take that feedback, go back and implement it, bring it back. Bringing it back is your application updating, and you're using it. Even your bank app updates, and you're seeing a feature. If you're actually frequently using the application, you will notice that there is a change in that application. So performance improvement is top notch, and your job, the one thing that you need to do as a Scrum Master is use your Scrum framework, the knowledge that you've gotten from Scrum, to help organization and your Scrum team to deliver speedily. All right, so I think the last point that we're going to look at is leadership in self organization. Now, why is the Scrum Master leadership very interesting? Now, there are different types of leadership, but the Scrum Master leadership is unique. We call it the servant leadership. Now, a lot of people mistake this thing when they read the Scrum guide. They say, I cannot be a servant to anybody. Nobody is saying you should be a servant. More like some people feel that literally they are serving people, and actually in a sense you're not serving per se, you are supporting the team. And as a Scrum Master, you have soft skills. You have soft skills that you can use to help the team. You're empathetic. You have good communication skills. And these soft skills are transferable. So where you are listening to me, you're like, okay, I think this is really going to take some time. No, you probably have worked in one organization before now, or currently working in an organization. So I take it that you have good communication skills, you have good listening skills, you are empathetic. As a Scrum Master, you have special soft skills to help people deliver the goal that we have set together as a team. And we see these things play out in organizations that we work. I've worked in the regular organizations that use the waterfall. Sometimes they feel like, there's no empathy. They know you're being paid for the job. Yes, it's okay to say you're being paid for the job, but some of them really don't have that empathy. Say, oh, you're being paid for the job, do the job. I don't care if you're sick. I don't care if anything happens to you. Just deliver on the job. The project manager is giving you, there's a lot of pressure, and more like you're choking on the job, and nobody really cares about you as a human. You're not a robot doing the job. Sometimes the work environment is toxic. You're not being creative. You're not being innovative. That is the change that Scrum has brought about. As a Scrum Master, you're not there to micromanage anybody. You're actually even empathetic to say, okay, someone is really doing his or her job as he or she should, and you notice that there is a change. You don't need to start escalating things or saying, oh, why are you not doing, you're being paid for the job, as you're paid, you need to do the job. No, you need to, first of all, reach out to the person. Hi, Justine, I noticed that there is a drop in performance. Is there anything the problem? Would you want to have a leave? Would you want to go on a leave and all of that? You were working with humans. You're not working with robots. And so that is what Scrum is changing. As a Scrum Master, you have the interest of your Scrum team at heart. Everybody is paid to do the job, but they also need to do the job with a clear head, a clear mind. They need to be happy doing the job, to be able to innovate, to be able to be creative. Because if you do not have this empathetic feeling towards your colleagues, towards your teammates, everybody's just going to do the job. After all, I'm just going to be paid at the end of the month. That's fine. And at the end of the day, you're going to see poor code, because of course we're coding these things, we're implementing. Software engineers are just going to be burnt out. They're going to be writing the code out of obligation, and those things lead to poor code and even much more consequences at the long run, and you don't want that as a Scrum Master. So you need to create an environment that is very conducive, where people are allowed to talk, air their views. Nobody's shutting anybody down, right? You're not anybody's master, so to speak. Yes, a Scrum Master, but you're not there to lord it over anybody. And you're a professional in your own right, just the way another person is a professional. So it's a beautiful soft skill and a beautiful leadership skill as a Scrum Master. So all of this is what you're going to learn in the cohorts if you eventually join the next course, how to harness your soft skills, how to deal with people, how to relate with people, how to support your team, and the most important of all, how to become a Scrum expert, learning the Scrum framework. All right. So, and for you to also excel as a Scrum Master, there are project management tools that you need to use. There are a whole lot of them out there. The most popular one is Jira. We have Azure DevOps, we have Asana, Trello, Confluence. All of these tools are to help you make informed decisions. So as a Scrum Master, we make decisions with facts and numbers. So we're saying that we need to calculate the velocity of the team, how much work the team can take. All of those things can be calculated. So we are not just in a guessing game to say, oh, if the stakeholders reach out to you and say, when can we deliver on this project? You're not saying, this kind of project, we should deliver in the next 8 months. No, there are facts. We have reports, we have metrics to show that we are giving the exact timeline. We are planning the way that we should plan. So all of these things inside the project management tool will help you carry out your job effortlessly. And these are part of the things that you will learn in the cohorts. All right. So the next thing I want us to look at is, how do we use Scrum to build a real life project? When I mean real life project, real life application. Remember I said that you can use Scrum. Even in your marketing department, you can use Scrum. Scrum is applicable everywhere. As long as you want to deliver speedily, as long as you have a goal that you're working with, you can implement Scrum in your current organization. You can implement Scrum. All you need to do is understand it. And when you understand it, you're able to help your team, your department to fly, right? And people are just going to wonder how you're doing what you're doing, how you're delivering on time, within the timeline that you set. With Scrum, you set a timeline and you actually meet those goals, not something, far-fetched. Okay, so we're going to look at real life application using Scrum, and of course with the project management tool, which is the Jira platform. So we have the software development projects, we have the product development project for an e-commerce platform, we have the marketing campaign planning, we have infrastructure. So I just want to say it again, I want to reiterate again that Scrum is not just for the tech organization. Yes, you can work in a tech organization, but you can be a Scrum Master even in an hospital. Yes, because there are applications online. When you go online, either to the iOS or to the Android store, you can download medical applications that probably help you with your heart rate or whatever, weight loss and all of these things. There are applications for different industries. Everybody is automating their process. And to be able to do that, they need a Scrum Master to ensure that they are delivering on time, speedily, and very fast. Okay, so what we're going to do today, we're going to look at how to build an e-commerce store using the Scrum framework. There's a whole lot of sites to this. I'm not sure we're going to exhaust it given the time that we have, but I'm just going to, dive into the Jira platform right now. I have that already on my screen opened. Yeah. So I just take this down. Okay. So yeah. So this is the Jira platform, and you can use Jira. You can use Jira still with a free plan. So you don't have to subscribe. With a free plan, you're able to get by and to do some interesting stuff. So like I said, there are a lot of project management tools. Jira is one of the most popular. We have Azure DevOps. You can use Trello. All of these are things you can even implement in your organization from tomorrow. Like try out these tools, learn it. But if you want to know more how to really maximize this tool, then you need to be part of the cohort, right? So with the Jira, we're able to plan an application end to end. When I mean end to end, it has to do with the back end and the front end. So for instance, we're joined on this video conferencing tool, and you have a link that you click, and you click on that link, you're able to join in on a call where everybody is. So I have my mute button here, my audio button here. I have the video button here where you're able to see me. So all of these things are possible because there is an endpoint calling it from the back end. I don't want to, the idea is not to confuse anybody, but I just want to say that for you to be able to do the things that you do in an application, if you're an e-commerce store, you want to add to cart. The fact that you click on add to cart, something triggered it from the back end. So with Scrum and with the Jira project management tool, you're able to build an application end to end. So all of the activities and the actions that you take in an application, somebody had said that this action should happen this way for you to do it. So the application is forcing you to do what you do. Say, click this place, log in here, sign up here, do all of those things. All of those actions you're taking started from writing a user story. So how do we even start? Okay, you want to start a project now, just with Scrum and with Jira. Where do we start? The first thing you want to do is to have a product backlog. I'll show you what a product backlog is right away. And trust me, product backlog, you're hearing it for the first time, or probably you heard it before. It's a buzzword, it's a term, it's a Scrum terminology, but it's not far-fetched. We all have product backlogs every day, every year. We set goals. So your product backlog is like your to-do list. Yeah. So you want to go to the grocery store. You most probably don't want to forget the things that you would buy. The tendency to forget is there. Yeah. So you want to write it down. I want to get pepper, tomatoes, tissue, detergent, whatever it is. You have your to-do list and you are writing it down. That to-do list is your product backlog. So if you want to start on a project, you have an idea. The idea cannot sit in your head. It's not possible. You will forget these things if you put it in your head. Oh, I want to start selling laundries or whatever it is you want to sell. You know, whatever it is you want to build, you cannot afford to say, oh, I have it in my head, I'm going to store it in my head. It's not possible. So the first thing you want to do is manually, you want to write it down. You have your product, your to-do list to say, oh, this year I want to upskill, I want to be part of the tech organization, join the tech organization, learn a tech skill. I want to become a Scrum Master, so I need to go through training. By the end of this year, I want to have had this, I want to have bought this, and all of that. Those things are your to-do list. And for you not to forget it, you need to put it down, because you put it down, you're seeing it, is reminding you that this is the thing you want to do. Same way we have the product backlog. If you're working on a project, we need to add items into that product backlog to say, we want to build a car. What do we need to build a car? We want to do this, you write it down. We want to do that, you write it down. So all of those items, you're throwing it into your product backlog so that you can later come to flesh it out. So let's start from the basic. What is the basic? Is that you download an application, whatever application you're downloading from the iOS or the Android store, there is a basic, there is a must do. You have to sign up. You have to sign up. After signing up, they get your details, you sign in. Right? Those are like the basic things you want to do. So same way, if you're building an application, you're thinking from the perspective of a user. You're not thinking for yourself, because you're not building the application for family and friends, for yourself and your family. You know, it's just like you're waxing a song. You go to the studio, you need to put it out in the Spotify and all of those places so everybody will hear it. Yeah, so you're thinking from the perspective of a user. Say, I want to build an application. So what are the first things that would happen in this application? Oh, the user will need to sign up. The user will need to sign in. So let's look at it. Let's use an example, which is an e-commerce store. Yeah. So we have the product backlog. This is how to identify a product backlog here. This is a backlog. What I'm hovering over, this is a backlog. So backlog is a place where you create user story. Create user story is like saying, I want to create a story from a user's perspective. If the user log in, how will the user behave by logging in? Oh, I want the user to click on add to cart. So let's do something very quickly here. All right, let's create a user story. We want to build an e-commerce store, for instance, and we want users to be able to browse through products. You know, in e-commerce store, they sell a plethora of a whole lot of things, you know, gadgets and, you know, name it. So, but let's use an example, which is creating a user story. Now I want to build an e-commerce store. So the first thing I want to do is I want to start adding to my product backlog, my ideas, all the ideas that I have. I want to add it to my product backlog. So I'm going to hit on create. When I click on create, it's going to open up this very small card by the side, but I want it to be even much more pronounced. Yeah. So let me take this off and okay, this is more clearer. So what is the first thing I want people to do? I want them to log in. Okay, let's start from the very smallest thing. So I want my users to be able to log in on my e-commerce store. So I'm going to create the login page. Yeah, for instance. So I hit on create a login page. So I create a login page and it comes here. Okay, so you can see it here. And by the way, this e-commerce store is not the dummy project. It's already happening. We call it the Shopalytics. Okay, so this is Shopalytics. As you can see, I'm hovering over. I said Shopalytics e-commerce store. We're working on each features brick by brick by brick to come out with the e-commerce store eventually and still keep enhancing it as we go. So the e-commerce store is already ongoing. We have sprints for it. Yeah, but for the sake of just giving example, let's talk about the very first things that you want to see. So I'm going to, there's something called an epic, which is like the bigger project. And I'm going to add an epic to my e-commerce store. So these are different projects going on concurrently on my Jira platform. We have the food delivery app and other things happening. So we're concerned about the e-commerce store. So yeah, this is the e-commerce store. So first thing I want my users to do is to be able to log in to or sign up. Yeah, log in, sign up. I think you know they can pass for one the same thing. So I open it. Now it's called a user story. Remember, you're adding ideas into your product backlog. You need to first of all add those ideas before you implement them. And we're implementing them in bit by bit. Remember, this is an e-commerce store. We have not built the whole project yet, too, but we are doing it in bits. It's just like cooking jollof rice, yeah? You are not cooking the whole rice at once, right? The first thing you want to do is, oh, you want to get your sauce ready. You want to you have like 4 burners, for instance. You want to get your meat ready. While we are waiting for the jollof rice to be ready, it's okay to fry your meat. It's okay to, you know, get your sauce and all of that. Those things are like little preparation that takes us to the end product, which is the jollof rice. That's how Scrum works. So I want you to see it in that light, that we're not saying, oh, we're going to take our time, get the project or the product ready, e-commerce store, voila, it's out. You can build a prototype. You can start doing something in bits. What are you doing now? Oh, you're creating the login page. Oh, what are you doing now? You're building the sign up page. What are you doing now? You're working in bits. And at the end of, for instance, in the next 1 month, you'll be amazed all the features that you've been able to create. The Scrum team is able to bring out that is leading to the e-commerce store eventually. Okay, so I don't know what my network is doing this evening. It's a bit funny, but so I'm hoping that we're able to create. I want to take everyone through on how to create a user story, how the user story forces you and I to actually do the things that we do on a login page. Okay, so let me try to refresh my screen a bit. Chukwemeka, I hope I'm still within time. It's okay to call me to order if I mean,
yes, yeah,
time
go on, yeah,
fast
in order.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead to refresh my page. And I want to show you what happens when you're trying to download an application and it's asking you, oh, add your email, add your password, add your name. All of those things, you happily do them, but it started from somewhere, the user story. Okay, so let's see. My network has to be very, very cooperative this evening. It's showing me loading. Okay, saying loading. All right. So while I'm waiting for that to load, I know a whole lot of people have questions, so it's okay to drop your questions in the message box, and we're going to look at them much later. But again, like I was saying, we have the product backlog. The first thing you want to do is have your ideas, put it in your product backlog, and putting your ideas into a product backlog, you're creating a user story. You're fleshing that user story out from a user's perspective. You're saying that, okay, this is a create login page. What do you want? You have your description that as a user, as you and I, who is eventually going to download that application and try to log in, as a user, this is how the description starts. That as a user, I want to be able to log in so that I can access the features in the application or whatever on Shopify, for instance. Yeah, and then we are putting acceptance criteria. Acceptance criteria are like the checklist that we want our users to follow, right? There are login pages that you are not allowed to put in symbols in your password. It's going to flag something red, and there's just going to be a flag that says you're not allowed to do this. All of those things are things that were written in a user story even before the application was built, to say, you know what, users should be able to add their alphabets, numbers as password, but no symbols, and all of that. Okay, so I'm hoping this will be much more interesting if we have our user stories up. Let me see if I already have there are other user stories in my product backlog. Let's see if those will come out. Yeah, I want to do everything on the Jira board, okay, so that we can see. Now, aside your product backlog, having all of those items in your product backlog, the next step you want to take is to start up with the Scrum event. So the Scrum event, in Scrum, we have different kinds of events, which is we have 5 events. We have the sprint, we have the sprint planning, the sprint review, the sprint retrospective. It's fine. Don't get confused in all of these. These are things that you will learn in the cohort. These are events that should happen that will bring about an increment at the end of the day. Okay, I don't know why my network is it's behaving like this. I'm not able to see other parts of my page, but it's okay. It's fine. We can still talk about other things, right? So we have all of these events that happen. So the first thing that should happen is put the ideas in your product backlog. When that is done, then the Scrum Master needs to ensure that the user story has good description and good acceptance criteria. All of those things needs to be checked. What do you want the users to do? Do you want them to do this? Do you want them to do that? How do you want them to behave? We need to look at all of those things. And then we need to have a backlog refinement. We need to have a backlog refinement with the product owner. Say, okay, product owner, you have brought in all of these ideas and you want us to commit to this idea. You want to start building XYZ, for instance. You want us to build, for instance, on the search product, on the customer support, on the create login page, which is great. But let us look at these things. Does it have a good acceptance criteria? What are the things that you're telling the users to do? How are they going to do this thing? So we're looking at it from a criteria point of view to refine the user stories. After refining the user story, we want to have our sprint planning. Our sprint planning is with the wider team, with the development team. Remember that as a Scrum Master, you do not write any line of code. Your job is not to write codes. The software engineers are going to be the ones who are going to be implementing, actually doing the work, writing the code. Your job is to guide them according to the Scrum framework. And these are the frameworks that I'm talking about, right? So during the sprint planning, we're sitting down with the team to have conversations around the user story. Say, okay, the first user story says create a login page. The engineers are discussing, okay, what do we need to do here? They're breaking down the tasks, they're estimating around it, and we're having all of those conversations because they are the ones to do the actual work. They're the ones to do the actual work. All right. So once we're done with the sprint planning, that takes us to the next event, which is the daily stand-up. So the daily stand-up is an event where we inspect and adapt. We monitor the progress of the sprint to say, okay, these are the things we've committed. We want to build the login page. We want to build the ad cards. add to card. We want customers to be able to search for products and a whole lot of things to do. How are we doing them? So you're having a daily stand-up, which is a time box event for 15 minutes with the engineers to say, oh, Justin, you said you were going to build the login page. How's that going for you? Do you have any impediments? Chukwemeka, you said you were going to build a search for products page. How's that going for you? Hope that is going on well. So the idea of the daily stand-up is to have that 15 minutes meeting with your team to inspect, to make sure that everybody is aligned on the sprint goal. Hope we're actually aiming to do the same thing that we've agreed to do during the sprint planning. And then we have the sprint review. The sprint review is where we actually demonstrate the work that we're doing. If we say we're working on a login page, can we actually log in, put in our email address, put in our passwords, all of the parameters, and actually log in? So that is where you're seeing the fruits of the work that we have done in over 2 weeks iteration. So it's not something that is still in your head or still at the ideation stage. During the sprint review, we are showcasing to the stakeholders that, hi stakeholders, we built a login page. We built an add to cart button, an add to cart functionality. If you click here, you are actually able to add to cart. So we are showing the stakeholders and giving them feedback, and they are giving us feedback on what we have done to say, okay, you guys have done well, thumbs up, but can you make this a little better? Can you do this? Can you do that? We're taking the feedback. So the stakeholders is like the end users, right? We're taking that functionality to the end user, say, hi, end user, this is what we're building. We intend to build an e-commerce store, but in this 2-week iteration, this is what we have. We have a login page. We have an add to cart page. We have a sign up page and everything that we have built for that iteration. And they're testing it in real time and giving us feedback in real time. Okay. So those are the things that we do, and a whole lot of sides to this framework that we can't discuss in a day. But yeah, so let's look at my board, okay, because I have an ongoing sprint at this moment since my network is a bit shaky. Let me take you all to my board. So my board, remember I talked about having to bring about an iteration bit by bit by bit by bit. Okay, so this is what I mean by a sprint. Let me take this here. All right, so this is what I mean by a sprint. So there's currently an ongoing sprint to build the Shopalytics e-commerce store. So in my ongoing sprint, you can see a whole lot of things. We have the checkout process, we have the user management functionality, we have the order tracking, add items to cart. We want customers to be able to add items to cart. We want customers to be able to browse the product. So all of these are the different functionalities that will be done at the end of the sprint. So your job as a Scrum Master is to ensure that you're following, the Scrum team is following the Scrum principles, the Scrum frameworks, and supporting them to actually build this product, to bring about this product live, where everybody sees it and they try it out and it's working. It's a functional item, and we're shipping it to the stores where you and I can go to any of the stores, either the iOS store or the Android store, to access it. I don't know what's really going on with my network this evening, but hey, I think it's not going to rain on our parade. The show must go on. We couldn't connect to that issue. This is obviously my network being funny, okay? But yeah, the show must go on. So I know you have questions. Just drop it on the chat box and we will get to that in no time. Okay, so yeah, so this is our board. This is how an actual sprint looks like. So for you to have an application that you are, like the Instagram, like your Facebook, all of this were built bit by bit by bit in iteration, bringing out feature by feature. So it's not like you're building a house. Yeah, block by block by block, the house is taking shape and is looking like what you can actually call a house. And that's how Scrum is. Scrum is not saying, oh, we need to see the whole house. The Scrum is saying, get your foundation ready, do your blocks, do things in bits and in bits using iteration. Iteration is like a feedback loop. We try something. Iteration simply means that we're using a feedback loop. We start with the backlog refinement. We start with the sprint planning. We have the daily stand-ups. We have a sprint review, a sprint retrospective. And in that 2 weeks, all of these events are happening within 2 weeks, and we bring about an increment, a working increment, a potentially shippable increment at the end of the 2 weeks. We go back again to say, okay, thank you guys, we saw your feedback. We do the same thing, iteration by iteration by iteration. All of this is happening within the course of 2 weeks. And at the end of, say, 3 months, we would have built almost all of the functionalities. And we've had the feedback from the users to say, you know what, we like this or we don't like it. Go back and amend it, have an improvement on it. Okay, so this is basically, I think, much that we can say. I know there's a whole lot of, oh, I don't understand this, I don't understand that. There's a whole lot of sides to it. When you join the cohort, I'll be available to discuss more in-depthly on how to maximize the Jira platform to bring about a full project end to end. End to end. When I mean end to end, we're looking at the front end aspect of it and the back end aspects of the project. Okay, so yeah. So I don't know if there's still some more to discuss on our slides. Let's go back to our slides and see. Okay, before we go back to our slide, I mentioned about that in the Jira platform, you're able to work with reports. Yeah, you're able to use reports to bring about timely delivery. Remember that the idea of Scrum, if there is any most fascinating, beautiful thing about Scrum is that you're delivering speedily. You're using your knowledge of Scrum to deliver complex projects speedily, efficiently, and frequently. Okay, so the good thing about project management too is that you also have access to reports. When I click on reports, you're going to, see the burn up chart, the burn down chart, the sprint velocity. All of these things would give you real-time data about the team, about the sprints that you're running. I don't know why this is, I don't know, Chukwemeka, who jinxed my network this evening? I don't know what's happening. Okay, but again, like I would always say, the show must go on. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that your project management too is like your best buddy. So you're going to the stakeholders, and stakeholder is saying, Josephine, I want to build a car that flies. Yeah, tell us, when can we deliver this car? With your project management tool, and after a maximum of 3 or 5 iterations, you can confidently tell the stakeholders that, you know what, we're going to finish this project in August 28th, September, whatever, duration or timeline you're going to give. And that is made possible using the metrics. The burn down chart is going to give you some data about the sprints that you're running, about the team, how the team is burning down the work, story points by story points. The velocity report is going to show you the pace at which your team is working. So I have a very, very simple illustration about velocity. When you talk about velocity, you're looking at the pace at which your team is able to burn down the work. Now, velocity can be likened to you as a person. Let's say you're not feeling fine, or someone around you is not feeling fine, and you're the person who's taking care of that person. Yeah. So how do you determine the person's velocity in terms of how they are healing and how they are able to heal faster? And one of the things you want to look at is their eating habits. Yeah. Stay with me. We're talking about velocity. We're talking about the sprint velocity, getting the velocity report, and I want to liken this to real life situation. Okay, so how do you determine the velocity of that person who is sick and you're taking care of the person? Is that the first thing you want to look at is, aside the person taking their drugs, you want to ensure that they are eating as they should for them to be able to get well. So the first thing you want to do is, while you're dishing the food, the first time you're going to dish the food for them, is there's the probability that they're just going to, cherry pick the food, and they're not going to eat properly. And you're doing this over time. The first day, second day, third day. By doing this, by serving them the food, you are able to understand that, okay, this person is not finishing this amount of food and dish. This person is not able to finish this amount of food. With time, you're able to ascertain the amount of food that person can finish. And that is the actual velocity. It happens with children, with parents who are trying to improve their children's eating habits. You're dishing a particular number of, or a particular amount of food for them to finish, and you know that they're not finishing. With time, it doesn't make sense dishing that same number of food every now and then. You're observing as you dish the first food in the morning. You're observing what amount are they able to finish. Okay, you see that, okay, this is what they're able to eat. The second time you're dishing, you're seeing this. The third time you want to dish that food, you're dishing even a smaller portion, because over time you have observed that they are not able to finish this large portion of food. And that's what velocity is. If you're working with a Scrum team, as a Scrum Master, you must be able to interpret data, to be able to determine how much work can my team take. So it's not about, oh, we're working on this feature, you're loading the team with feature. What if you have 5 people in your development team? You have 2 engineers, you have 1 QA, and you have, let's say, 1 cybersecurity analyst, depending on the specialties that you need in your team. They are not able to work on a full functionality in one iteration. So you use this data, the velocity over time in 3 iterations, to say, you know what, you are able to ascertain very accurately what your team is able to work on in a particular iteration. And it makes you very, very knowledgeable as a Scrum Master. And that way you can even also advise the stakeholders and say, stakeholders, I need more resources. I cannot meet this timeline because this is the velocity of my team. You're showing them the data. So this is beautiful. There's a whole lot of sides to this data that we will talk about during the cohort. All right. So yeah. So we'll get back into slides. Okay. If you have questions, I'm more than happy to talk about those questions with you. Yeah. So this is the point where Chukwemeka, this is the point where you take over. Okay. You have the floor. Please go ahead. Hey.
All right. Thank you, Josephine, so much. Please confirm if you can hear me, Josephine. Can you hear me, Josephine?
Yes, loud and clear. Loud and clear. Okay, loud and clear. Can you hear me? Okay, I think I'm going to check at
Yeah,
the
Josephine,
chat
I
box.
can hear you.
Hi, Josephine.
Okay. I think your network is it's really shaky. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh wow. Oh wow.
Hi, Josephine.
Yeah,
Can you
I
hear me?
can. Yes, absolutely. I can hear you.
Yeah, I think you've transferred your location's network to my own side. I'm not struggling with my well, that's by the way. All right, let's jump right into it. So if you've been following Josephine up till now, just drop a 1 so that I'll be sure that you've been here with us up to this moment, because we are getting into the different phase of the program where we'll get to, encourage you and tell you how you can comfortably become a Scrum Master in less than 2 months, right? Like one thing that Josephine mentioned when she was speaking is the fact that the fastest way for you to be able to get into tech ecosystem is through the Scrum Master line. And also the I don't want to call it the easiest, but the most non-code aspect of tech. Like if you're not conversant with code, if you don't want to deal with coding or anything that has to do with writing lines of code, I mean Scrum Master is your surest path to becoming a tech guy, a tech bro, a tech sis, as we call it these days, right? So, but in our own Scrum Master program, how is our program actually structured, right? So what we have is that we have 100% online virtual instructor-led program. The way you have Josephine talking to you on the call tonight is the way you're going to have a facilitator like her or even her talking to you in the class on the weekend programs, right? And it's 100% hands-on practical sessions with exercises and projects. If you clearly saw her Jira board, you would have noticed that there are a series of projects. Please confirm if you can still hear me. Hi, Justin. Please confirm if you can still hear me. Or Elijah. Or okay, yes, fantastic. Right. If you look closely on her Jira board, there's seen a couple of projects that she is working on, right? So some of these are projects that our in-house guys are currently doing. So you have hands-on practical sessions where you get to learn everything that pertains to Jira board, to Trello board, to Confluence, and all these are projects that are real life. So we get these projects from people that work real life, and we sort of codify it and push it to our in-house guys to be able to play around it. The codifying aspect of it is just to protect the NDPR or GDPR aspect of ourselves so that we don't expose the company's data itself. And they also have a lifetime access to the materials that you have in your class, right? So because these sessions are also recorded, even though you have a live teacher talking to you in the class, you also get to have access to recordings of these classes after you are done with it. So you always have lifetime access. And even if you're on the job, I have reasons to go back and watch a session or look at a material so that I can perform on the job. You 100% have access to these materials. And these classes are just like over 10 classes and in over 20 topics. That's what you're going to cover within a space of 2 months, right? And basically, we all know what Scrum Masters earn, right? An average UK salary of a Scrum Master is within the range of £2,500, and in Nigeria is around 8 million naira per annum, right? And you also get to work on projects that you can easily add to your portfolio, right? If you've ever been to a tech interview, that is what we call competence over certifications, right? So it's not an aspect where you have to say, okay, I'm a PMP certified person, or I have CMC or stuff like that. Basically, you are going to be assessed based on the portfolio that you have. So, and these are the things that we help you curate. You're going to have a GitHub account where all the projects that you work on in the classroom is going to be added to that your GitHub account by yourself so that you can comfortably present this as a portfolio for yourself. And you also have 100% job prospect visibility. And this is because of our partnership with a series of recruiters in UK, in Africa, in Canada, as the case may be. And of course, after you are done with our Scrum Master program, you can easily take the industry relevant certification that you need to do. And the most interesting aspect of this is that you have 1 month train internship program, right? The program runs for 1 month. And then after the 1 month, you have another 1 month to do your internship with us, where you also get to work on real life case studies. And you have other software developers, business analysts come together, and all of you are going to work on a real life project that you have. It will be like a scenario of what is going on in the on the jobs, right? So from this, you get to also experience and enhance your skills as a Scrum Master. All right, moving on. How do you become a Scrum Master with us, right? There are several topics that we'll get to cover, and that starts with introduction to Scrum. So, because there are people that have been asking questions, okay, I don't have any knowledge in Scrum, I don't have any knowledge in project management. How do I get into this exact field? That is where this introduction to Scrum comes in, right? Because we've structured our classes to be in a way that even if you have zero knowledge of what you are going to do, we bring you up from that ground zero to the expert level. So from that introduction to Scrum, you get to move into the Scrum flow. From Scrum flow, you're entering to the Scrum theories and values. And from there, moving to the Scrum team and Scrum artifacts, where you even get to practice product backlog, right? So what Josephine mentioned today, what we talked about is basically on product backlog, how you build your product backlog. If you want to cook jollof rice, what are the things that you need to make to bring forward? That means you need to get your rice, you need to get your tomatoes, you need to get your onions. If you want to build a shop analytics, what do you do? Times you need to get in your user interface, you need to get your login interface, user creation, and things like that. So this is even like the fourth topic inside the Scrum Master program, right? So that means we are getting you in from the exact zero ground until you keep on climbing, right? So after the Scrum backlog, you now move into increments and sprint backlog. From there, move to a sprint planning and the sprint. You move to developmental work and daily scrum. Then your sprint review, your sprint retrospective, your next scheduled scrum, and that is what makes you a full-blown scrum master. Now we have a couple of my screen now. I can see a couple of topics that we treat in the class, right? So because our classes are structured in a way that it is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays, West African time, and then 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time on Sundays. So within this 1 month, you get to have an experience of all these things that we mentioned, from introduction to Scrum to becoming a full-fledged Scrum Master. All these things within a month, after which you now move to your 1 month virtual internship, right? So why exactly should you train with us at Analytics? Excluding all these amazing things that we have to offer, we also have phenomenal achievements of helping people get jobs, right? And this is because of our partnership with people like Robert Half and Nash in UK, right? So we have people in polls that once they're done with our program, recruiters reach out to us, okay, we need someone in Scrum, we need someone in this, and we push these students to the recruiters where they also get to be interviewed, and they most likely get the job once they have the competence that they're looking for. And of course, the second reason why you should train with us is because you have industry standard facilitators and curriculum that meets the standard of the companies of today, right? Our curriculums are up to date, and we also have the best trainers in the industry. Trust me, if you know who Josephine is, you know that she's an amazing agile speaker in the ecosystem, right? And also, our trainings are blended in such a way to accommodate everyone. If you're a fast learner that can learn in live classes, you can instantly learn while the classes are ongoing, right? If you are not a fast learner that can learn on the go, we also have recourse to the video where you get to watch the video and also, reassess what you've learned and move up from there. And our sessions are tailored in such a way that it has positioned you to land your first job. We've programmed our curriculum and our classes to be in such a way that even after giving you the real life competencies that you need, we also move you to what we call the employability sessions, where we get to do your CV reviews, your LinkedIn optimization, prep you for your interviews, and even help you on the job if you are struggling once you get your first job. So these are many more are the reasons why you should train with us. Like I mentioned, there are still more. So we have what we call additional employability services that we structured in a way that it is three-layered, right? Three-layered in such a way that the level one aspect of it starts with CV review sessions, where we get to review your CVs. Is your CV ATS compliant? Because one thing that people do not realize these days is that your CV is just like a walking signboard of yourself, right? And your CV is the person that is going to get to somewhere before you now come to represent you who you are. So if your CV is not fully structured and tailored in such a way that it matches the job you're going for, you don't even get to be called in the first place. So, and over the years, we've noticed the reason why people also struggle to get job interview invites is because we've trivialized interviews, right? We've trivialized applications. The CV that you used to apply for a project manager, the same CV you're using to apply for a scrum master, that's the same CV you're using to apply for a business analyst, the same CV you're using to apply anything. So far as it's on LinkedIn and you're seeing easy apply, you're just simply clicking on easy apply using the same CV and saying, no, like that is good. You are going to struggle to land a job. But if you tailor your CV to match the jobs you are going for, you can easily be called for an interview session where you now come in to present yourself and be able to defend some of the things that you've put through. And of course, you can defend these things because we have trained you in the skill aspect of the business, that you also have the skill, you have the competency to get to that place that you want to be. Another aspect of our employability services is the LinkedIn optimization session, right? I think we'll have one tomorrow for the people that are in-house. We will get to look at your LinkedIn and help you present yourself in such a way that your recruiters will be the one actually looking for you. Something happened last month in the program. A friend of mine that joined, after a month that she joined the BA program and they finished their LinkedIn optimization, she got chat from a recruiter in the UK, right? Because she's in the UK. And what she didn't take the job simply because they required her to work 40 hours, but she doesn't have the clearance to do that yet. So these are things that is going to give you the exposure. And also, we encourage our students to learn in the public, right? Which means once you are learning introduction to Scrum, on your LinkedIn page, something is showing that you've posted on something you learned about introduction to Scrum. Okay, basically there are two arms of project management, Agile and Waterfall. So these are the things that is going to open up and make that change that you desire, that will now invite recruiters to start seeing, okay, someone like Chukwemeka is now changing, she's posting things that are related to Scrum, which means she is transitioning or something like that. We also have Upwork optimization sessions where we help you optimize your Upwork. If you want to play in the contractual aspect of it, that you want to be in Nigeria, you're working for companies in UK, in US, and Canada on just contract basis and getting your freelance jobs and moving on, right? And then we also train you on how do you navigate the job market. As of now, I can comfortably tell you that we'll have a session ongoing for the people that are in-house where they have two recruiters, one from Nigeria, one from UK, where they are being grilled and they are being taught on how do they navigate the job market. How do they even prep for interviews, right? And these are things that we give you in addition to giving you the first skill level that you need, and then giving you the additional employability skills that you also need to survive. And if you also get interview invites, you come to us, fill the form, and we are going to prep an interview session for you, like in-house, where we are going to teach you, okay, these are the things that you need to talk about. If they say, okay, Chukwemeka, can we even meet you? Right? Is that the avenue for me to start saying, oh, my name is Chukwemeka, I have 12 children, 12 wives, and as the case may be? No. And they start stammering. We also grill you and teach you how to use the SIT approach to answer interview question of, okay, who are you? Right? And these are things that recruiters look out for to understand that this person actually knows what he is saying. And we also have the aspect of recommendation and reference letter, where if you have maybe need for recommendation or reference letter, we are also here to provide these services to you. And the level 2 of this employability services is a weekly mentorship session that I've already mentioned, where we also get to teach you things that you need to know. And of course, we have on-the-job support, where if you get a job and you are still struggling to find your feet on that job, we are here to help you out for 1 month till you can fully perform on that role. We'll now hands off you and tell you, okay, Josephine, Chukwemeka, thank you, bye-bye. And our number 3 level 3 aspect of our additional employment services is our promise to you, which is a guaranteed job interview 1 month after you are done training with us. And why are we able to say this? It's because we know that we've trained you in the skill aspect of things. We've given you the competencies that you need, and we're giving you the additional employability services, right? So we positioned you, and we are certain that you are going to get called for an interview. And this is also boosted because of our enhanced partnership with recruiters in UK, Canada, and US, and other countries, right? People like Harvey Nash, Michael Page, and Conferry from all these European countries. We partner with them that after we are done training you, we place you in a pool. Once they reach out to us and say, analytics, we need somebody for a job, we are pushing our students to all these areas, right? And we also have the body mentorship hub, where we bring people that have passed through this exact program back to the classroom to give back to you, right? So these guys are going to talk to you in language that you understand because they've passed through this exact traits. Let me make it. I actually did a program with analytics, right? Funny enough, and that should be way back in 2020 when I did my data analytics program. And after it's part of the thing that blew my career. Instantly, I was moving from control to GRC, from GRC to fintech, and so on and so forth. So these are things that are going to open up ways for you. And then we bring back people that have passed through the system to come and talk to the current students on, okay, these are challenges that I faced my own time. These are how I navigated it. You also get to have a mentor that's going to handhold you so that you're not going to make the mistake that some of us made, right? Because the truth is that when we're learning some of these courses, anything that comes up, we are going through the social media, we're seeing Google this, we jump, we learn. We are seeing IBM this, we jump, we learn. We are seeing this, we jump, we learn. But in the end, how instrumental are all these knowledges, right? There are things that when we gather them, we can't really implement them because we lack that real life experience. And that is what the analytics we are here to offer you. And we also have our internship experience, like I mentioned before, where you get to, have a scenario-based case studies where you work with business analysts, software developers, stakeholders, right? And you guys are going to work on a project end to end. And these are things that you can comfortably say during your interview that, okay, I was able to work as a Scrum Master where we developed a shop analytics platform for shopping mall, right? So you now speak extensively to things that you did pertaining to that project. Now, we also have sessions like other projects where we also give you the necessary links to how do you apply to remote jobs, how do you do this to earn in dollars, how do you get sponsored jobs and things like that. And these are things that we offer in our mentorship classes that goes on every Thursday, right? So from this, you can easily see that it's not just the skill or competence that we're trying to put in you. We are also trying to also give you things that is going to make you survive out there as a Scrum Master. Now, our next cohort is starting in April 6, 2024, and it's an opportunity for you to join this amazing program. Our courses have been subsidized to the minimum that you can get it anywhere. Trust me, you can't get this Scrum Master program anywhere as low as 270,000 naira, 187 pounds 50 shilling, 215 Canadian dollars, and 225 US dollars. So these are the prices that our courses currently go for. And it is simple. How do you make payments? Once you click on the link that my colleague has provided, once you click on the link, it's going to directly take you to where you will make payments. So I'm going to try and click on the link, and it is already bringing me to the payment page. So permit me to share the new page so that we all can understand how this works. So once you click on that link, it's going to bring you to the enrollment center, right? Going to bring you to this enrollment center. And what you can simply do is to click on the Scrum Master aspect of it, which is the first link here. Click on the Scrum Master, and you are going to see the option for you to input your details. So once it comes up, because I'm in Nigeria, that's why I'm seeing this amount, 270,000 naira. That's why I'm seeing the value in NGN. If you're in UK, you're going to see that you're going to be, the option that will come up for you is the pounds aspect of it. If you're in Canada, it's the Canadian dollar that will come up for you. If you're in US, the US option will come up for you. So what I'll simply do is that I'll put 270,000 here and click on reserve a seat, right? Click on reserve a seat. And once I click on this reserve a seat, it's going to bring me here where I'll simply put in my details. Sorry, my system is scanning. Yeah, put in my details, come here, put my email address, and come here, change it to put my phone number so that it will actually also reflect the country I am in, and click on proceed. So once you've filled all these things and you've moved on, next thing that is going to pop up for you is this payment option. So as simple as that. If you want to make payments using transfer option, you can see it's bringing up the pay stack Titan option for me. If you want to make payments using the card option, I'm putting my card and simply pay. Once I'm done making this payment, next thing that I'm going to do is also to go back to that same site that I clicked before, that same enrollment center, and simply submit my receipt of payment, and simply submit my receipt of payment. So if I come back here, I'm going to see the same option on the main stack place, where I will now go to this place of upload your receipt here. So once I click on it, I'll fill the details and upload my receipt. As simple as that. Now, if you look closely, we are offering 50% discount on our normal courses, and this is already over. This discount is basically for just 300 women and 50 men that takes up the course, right? And trust me, as at now that I'm speaking to you, I think we have is it 16 men spots remaining and roughly maybe close to 100 women's spots remaining. And these are things that before you know it, last year that we offered this same program, and the end, we ended up having a rush that we had to take in 320 women and maybe like 100 men, right? But this year, once these positions are taken, we instantly close up the option. So what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for to get into the tech ecosystem through this route of Scrum Master? Remember, like I mentioned, Scrum is most likely the non-code area, non-code aspect of tech that you can easily use to get into the tech ecosystem. So some of the things that we always say is that these things are impossible. How can I actually become a Scrum Master in a space of 1 month? How can I do this? So we have a couple of success stories of our past students that have been able to achieve this. So I want us to listen closely and hear what Ikmat has to say so that we can easily know that, okay, these things are possible. It's not just because they are trying to sell that program. These things are doable. So just listen so that we hear what Ikmat had to say about her own program before we continue the broadcast again.
Are you a STEM professional and are looking to apply for U.S. permanent residency?
Hi everyone, my name is Ikmat and I was with the March cohort in Analytics, and joining Analytics has been the best decision so far. You know, for me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, you know, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that Analytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Effie is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, you know, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. You know, in Analytics, they will hold your hands like a child, you know, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. You know, you have people you can always go back to, even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is the best decision ever, because he was like, he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked. And I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, it was just, they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, you know, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a maths test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me, because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up, because you always have Analytics to go back to. They are the best and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable one I've come across so far, and that's a very good advantage. So yes, Analytics for the win.
All right, fantastic. So if you heard what Ikmat had to say, her own story is somewhat emotional, because she moved from the position of a full housewife. I love how she always puts it, that she moved from being a full housewife to becoming a tech professional, right? And this her own is also 3 months into the program, she got a job, right? But she was not able to take it because she was still a student and she's only entitled to work 20 hours. After she completed her program, she got 2 other offers that offered her full visa sponsorship. And currently, she's working as a data analyst with NHS in the UK, right? We have other people, we have people like Oluwatosin, that what he had to say is that our mentorship and interview prep helped him to get a job. Currently, he works as a fraud analyst to prevent credit card frauds in UK as well. So we have a whole lot of other testimonials that when you get this slide, you can comfortably go through it so that you will get to immerse yourself with all the success stories that our people have to say. If you are even wondering, okay, I don't have any technical background, can I do this? Someone like Temi Vaughan, he was able to also transition from being a lawyer to becoming a business analyst, right? And what Temi loved during his own time is that analytics was especially because of the way everyone carried him along. So if you're scared that, okay, you're going to be dropped along the way because maybe you're slow or things like that, it's not going to happen. I can assure you that we will even have structures in place where we have participant relations officer, that someone is going to be reaching out to you on a weekly basis to ask, okay, how was classes? Is there anything you would like to also change? Is there any problem that you're currently having? How do we help you solve it, right? So these are things that we've put into place to make sure that you get full value for the investments that you are making into this, right? So we have a couple of other success stories. So make sure that you put your name in the attendance form so that once this session is over, you get this slide and also get the recording of this session. So guys, if you are still wondering, okay, is this where to be? I can assure you this is the amazing place to be. There are 1,001 testimonials here that you can always play with. So please, if you're still wondering or you're still not convinced, you can just type analytics in YouTube so that you can also get to watch and see what other students have to say about us. Or you can go to LinkedIn, type analytics. You can easily see what our past students also had to churn out with respect to all these things. So at this point, I'm going to hold on so that I'll take questions from you so that I'll also get to understand the area that we still have gray areas so that I can iron it easily for us. So if you have any question that you would love for me to address, so it's just simply use the raise hand icon and raise your hand and I am going to take it. Okay, just use the raise hand icon and I will call you instantly. So while I wait for you to raise your hand, I think I took note of some questions that was dropped earlier. One was from Temitayo that asked, does it mean that the Scrum Master should also be an app developer or have the knowledge of a developer? Hi, Josephine, are you still on the call?
Yes,
Hi, Josephine,
yes.
are you there?
And I think I saw that question. I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you
Please
hear
go
me?
ahead.
Awesome. Okay, so I saw that question, very good question there. So as a Scrum Master, you do not, emphasis on you do not need technical experience, right? You're going to be working with technical people quite all right. The software engineers or developers, the DevOps engineer, quite a whole lot of tech skill sets that you're going to be working with. But all you need to equip yourself is complete understanding of the Scrum frameworks. You do not need a technical experience. I'll take myself an example. When I started, I transitioned into Scrum. I started out, my career as a content writer. And what I even studied in school has nothing related to tech. Absolutely not related to tech. But here we are today, yeah. So yeah, it's a no. You don't need technical experience. You don't need to be a developer. You don't need to know what a developer does or how they do their thing. They write codes and that's fine, but you understand what it takes to deliver that project very fast. And that is the Scrum framework. Yeah. Over to you.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for that, Josephine. So you do not need to have all those knowledge background. You just need to understand how a Scrum Master functions, and you are definitely going to flow easily. So there's another question there that said, please, can someone who is a Scrum Master already with SMC certification do internship with your company from Oluwasanmi? So I'm going to take that, Oluwasanmi. Basically, if you have all the certification, you can't intern with us, right? Because what we've noticed over the years is that we have people that will say, okay, I have this certification, I have this skill. Can I just come right in and start from your internship? And why that in our internship program, we realize that we end up referring them, okay, go and learn this, go and learn that, because we do not know where they are coming from. We do not know the necessary skills and knowledge that they already have. And they end up either destabilizing the internship or they end up drawing others back. So we always advise people to start from the initial stage of registration, where we get to groom you, help you to learn all the tools that you need to learn, and then we'll gradually move you up the ladder till you get to internship. Okay. All right. Please, the 270,000, does it cover the Scrum Master certification, or is it just for the lectures? No. The 270,000 is 100% just for the lectures. It doesn't cover for certifications. So we will give you a certificate upon completion. Yeah, it covers for our own certification. But if you desire to pursue other certification in other aspects of Scrum Master, that is totally up to you. But what we assure you is that the knowledge you've gotten from our program will easily help you to ease in and ace all those certification that you want to go forward for. Okay, somebody's also asking, okay, what's the payment in pounds? Okay, the payment in pounds is 187.50 shillings. That's what all the payment is in pounds. So if you have another question that you'd love us to address, please just raise your hand and I'm going to call you so that we can address it at this point. Okay. So just use the raise hand icon. Hope is available. Okay, someone has raised hand. Hi, Elijah. I've asked you to unmute. Please speak.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the session, and I'm speaking from Ghana. But I realized that you only gave options for Nigeria and then the Americans and then UK and all that. But from Ghana, how much will it be, and how would the payment be like?
Okay, that is where we have foreign currencies also here. But what we're going to do for you, Elijah, is that because yours is a different, and you'd love to make payments using CDs.
Yes, and in filling the form, I indicated that I would like to enroll in April. In May. In May.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do for you is that we're going to drop an email in the chat box that you reach out us with. Okay. I can drop an email that Elijah can reach us with so that he can easily have to tell on his own to his own specific job. But you try to log into the main stack option. I'm sure you will see payment option in CDs there. You saw it there, right?
Yes, I did. I saw the main stack
link from Ghana.
Yes, when
all right. So basically what you ought to do, what you ought to do is simply to do CDs to Naira was the exchange, and then you pay in the 270,000 equivalent of it, right? But just we dropped an email for you so you can send an email to enquiries@analytics.org so that we can specifically guide you on how you can make these payments. All right. So that you don't have any. All right. So please do well to send the email this night so that we can easily start reaching out to you instantly. Does that make sense to you, Elijah?
Okay, sir. So if you could kindly help me by dropping the email you'd want me to send, because the network was a bit bad. I couldn't really hear you clearly. So maybe in the message.
We've dropped the email.
Okay.
Yeah, my colleague have dropped email enquiries@analytics.org.
Yes,
have you seen that?
I have seen it. Yes, please. I have. I have seen it now.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So do we have any other questions? So please, if you have any question, just raise your hand and we are going to ask you to unmute and take your question. All right. So feel free. This is a safe space. If you have questions pertaining to Scrum Master, we are here to answer it for you. If you have questions pertaining to the program, we are here to answer it for you. The most important is to make sure that we help a lot of people to transition into this space. And one thing I always tell people is to take advantage of this discounted pricing, because aside this discount, this program naturally goes for 540,000 naira, 375 pounds, 230 Canadian dollars, and 450 US dollars. And immediately after the International Women's Day scholarship is over, it's going to revert back to these options. So what I always advise people to do is to, once, even if you make the full payment right now, take advantage of these discounted amounts. Once you click on that link, it will show you the minimum amount you can make. So you can use it to secure your spots, because we'll have limited spots remaining at the point at this time. Secure your spots with the minimum offer, and then before 31st of March, you can make the remaining payments and start classes with us instantly on April 6th. Okay, so take advantage. So I think I was thrown out for So what's going to happen, like I was saying before, is that take advantage of this discounted pricing and make sure that you utilize it and get into class and be able to transition at this point. Okay, I don't know if you have other people with other questions so that we can take your question at this point. All right, if you have any question, use the raise hand icon and we are going to ask you to unmute. All right, I have Oluwasanmi. Okay, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chuku, and the other lady that's been spoken. I've been speaking for a while. Thank you very much. Yeah, what I actually want to ask is about, do you people, like, for someone that has the knowledge of this Scrum already, is there an way one can have internship, with the with you people? Is there an opening for that or opportunity for that? Someone that has the knowledge, both practical and the certification and all that, or instead of looking for job, I've not got a job, but just want to, keep, the the knowledge on like that. So is there a way one can actually have an internship?
All right. Thank you so much for that question, Oluwasanmi. I think I took it earlier. Maybe you were not on the call then, because I saw your chats, the comments you dropped in the chat box. So what we do is that we do not actually allow people to enter from the internship side, because we've done this in the past, where people come to us and say, oh, I have knowledge in this, I have certification in this, I want to just join the internship program. At the point of that internship, we realize that they do not have the full knowledge that our current in-house guys have. So what we realize that we end up either teaching them what they should have paid for, which is a business loss, or they end up drawing our students back because there are lots of questions, there are lots of misalignments. So because of that, we tend to say, okay, no, for anyone that wants to join our program, has to start from the beginning, where we have to groom the person. The person will learn the things they need to learn. The person will learn Jira, the person will learn Trello, the person will learn Confluence, the person will learn the necessary aspects of Scrum methodology, and will now push the person to internship. Because in the past, people will come and say, okay, I have this certification. All right, we'll give them case, all right, create backlogs on Jira. And they can't create all these things, right? So because of which we now said, no, We will not be taking people from the middle stage of internship. Everyone has to start from the ground level. We groom them and they move to internship. So this is business decisions that was made because of historical data that we had in the past. So I don't know whether that makes sense to you, Oluwasanmi. Okay, I don't know whether you got that. Please, can anyone hear me? If you can hear me.
I can hear you.
All right, fantastic. All right. Okay. Olalekan Davis is asking, please share Naira account details. Hi, Olalekan. We have the main stack link dropped so that you can easily use this to log in and make payments. All right. Once you click on that main stack enrollment, just scroll down and click on Scrum Master, fill your details, and you are instantly going to see the option to make your transfer. All right. Okay. Chinasa, I think I have to ask you to unmute because I can see a couple of chats that you are dropping so that you can easily ask your question. Hi, Chinasa. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Let me look for you. I've asked you to unmute. You have the floor, Chinasa. Please, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, so my questions are, I think one of them has been answered. So I was just trying to get clarification on the payment. Yeah, because from the main stack link that was posted, I saw 295. So I was thinking the discount was a 50%, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
Okay, so the actual payment is 375.
Okay.
375 pounds. Yeah. So the discounted amount is now 187.50 shilling. That's what the discounted amount will result, which is 50% of the 375 pounds. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Okay. The certification, I was told we just, as you will put us through for the exam, but like, can you give idea of the cost so that one can just prepare towards it? I don't.
All right. I know there are several certifications with respect to Scrum Master. Hi, Josephine. Are you there?
Okay.
Josephine?
Yes, I am. So there's a way to answer the question. I'll just put the link here, scrum.org. Yeah. With this link, you're able to, check through the
Hello.
Hi, can anyone hear me?
Yeah, it was frozen before.
Okay. So as I was saying, what Josephine, I don't know whether you heard what Josephine said.
Yeah, she said there are different certifications. She was trying to explain. I don't know.
All right. So there are different certifications basically, which when you go to scrum.org, you're going to see everything pertaining to Scrum certification, which is they have the initial beginner certification, I think it's PCM, and then there is still the other elevated aspect of the certification, which generally, you know how economy is now. So most of this pricing constantly changes on daily basis. So it's not something that we can actually say this is the amount that you use to get the certification for yourself. But once you go through the scrum.org, you can easily see what they are offering to you. But what we are sure is that once you are done with our own program, the beginner certification that comes from Scrum, you can easily ace it once you've completed your
recording
program.
in progress.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that, Chinasa. I don't know if we have others that have other questions. So at this point, we just want to take your question, whether it pertains to Scrum or whether it's related to the program. We are here for you. All right, so just use the raise hand icon, and I'm going to ask you to unmute so that you can ask your questions. All right, okay, I think Bayomi dropped something. Let me quickly look, not Bayomi, Oluwasanmi. Is it I got you, but I was not able to unmute myself. Thank you. All right, fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Any other question from anyone before we call it a day from here?
Yeah, hi Chukwemeka. Sorry, I need to chime in. My network
Yes.
was really funny. Okay,
Yes,
I need to answer that question. Should I go ahead?
yes, please go ahead.
All right. So like I was saying, there are two internationally recognized certifications. We have the CSM, the Certified Scrum Master, and we have the PSM, the Professional Scrum Master. Now, these are two certifications and they have different dynamics to it. You need to know if you're going to be taking the CSM or the PSM. You don't need to jump into it. So there are differences between the CSM and the PSM. So this is what I will advice. When I started my work, or when I started the transition from being a content writer to a Scrum Master, one of the things that were really, really important for me is understanding the Scrum framework and gaining the hands-on experience. The certification is good, but the certification without the hands-on experience will not get you past the recruiter. And at the end of the day, you just want to make this take money. So what I'm going to advise is let's get into the cohort. I'm really looking forward to see a lot of people on this call in the cohort where we get to talk about the Scrum framework. I explain a whole lot of things in details using my experience over the years, over 10 years in counting. And I would also help explain where you should go, what certificate you should take. Are you going to take the CSM? Are you going to take the PSM? It's going to be all clear to you. So this is how we need to do it. But again, you can go through the scrum.org and read through the website. There's a whole lot of information there and even about the certification. But it's really important that I see you in the cohort and I get to explain everything. I want to download the 10 years experience as much as I can in 2 months. And it's really going to be interesting. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's the way I'm going to respond to that. Over to you, Chukwemeka.
All right, thank you so much for that explanation, Josephine. I think that's amazing. I'll have this class when is your next cohort. So all classes, the cohort starts on the 6th of April. They all start together. So we have amazing facilitators for all these different programs, and they all run concurrently on different links, right? So it starts on 6th of April. So if you have any other question, comment, clarification, we are here to take it. We are here to answer your question and make sure that you get into the tech ecosystem so that you also join Josephine to, it's her or you abuse Scrum money this time around. All right. So do you have any other question? Do you have anyone with other question or clarification before we call it a day from here? Hi, Abayomi. Hi, Adeoshun Eru. Hi, Ajasa. Hi, Ayodeji. Hi, Bukola. Chinas has asked question. Hi, Collins. Elijah has asked. Hi, Lekon. Oji has asked. Olalekon has asked. Hi, Oluwakami has asked. Hi, Onyinye. Hi, Roger. Hi, Ufoma. So if you have any question, just use the raise hand icon, and I'm going to ask you to unmute, and then we're going to take your question. Ajasa, you're giving me a thumbs up. I guess that's a hint for me to ask you to unmute. You have the floor, Ajasa. Hi, Ajasa. Lukayo. Do you
Hello,
have
good
anything
evening.
you want to say to us? Yeah, good evening,
Hello,
sir.
good evening. Yeah, good evening. Sorry, I want to ask, apart from this next court on the 6th of April, when is the next bash for this Scrum Master?
Okay, so next batch is going to be in May. the first Saturday in May. That's when a new cohort will start. But what I can't assure you is that the pricing will still be discounted till then, right? Because this is just a scholarship that we offer because of the International Women's Day, where we want to get 300 women into the tech ecosystem and 50 men. And as of now, we have like 112 slots left for the women and like 16 slots left for men. So what I would advise you to do is you can make payment and defer it for 1 month till May, right? So with that, you've already secured your spots that you are going to be in the class for May. But if you don't secure it now, as at May, we do not assure you whether that discount will still be there. So I always advise people when you have instances like this, so I want to start in the next cohort, always use this current pricing to secure your spots and then defer for 1 month till you want to start. We have 1 month deferral period, after which you must definitely join any of the cohorts. I don't know if that answers your question, Olukayode. Okay, I believe that after registering for Scrum Master, do I still need to pay for another certification like the examination she was talking about? Yes, Onyinye, our Scrum Master program will help you learn everything you need to have the competencies that you need for the Scrum Master, learn the necessary tools, Jira, Trello, Confluence, that you also need to function as a Scrum Master. And we're going to give you certificates from Tenalytics. But if you have the need to have the PCM, the PSM certification, which are other certifications offered by scrum.org, that is something that you can pursue on your own. Of course, to help you to ace their exam, right? So it will definitely help you to ace their exam and position you to land a job without the international certification, as said by Josephine. All right, so I hope that answers your question, Onyinye. So our courses basically will groom you as a Scrum Master. Our main aim is to help you transition into the tech ecosystem, right? And that starts with you getting the skill and competencies and not really the certification aspect, right? So with us, you get to learn the skill and the competencies that you need to have as a Scrum Master. So with it, you can now get a job and transition into the tech ecosystem. So if you now have, because there is always need for continuous learning, that's the point where you now get to now, okay, I want to pursue PCM, I want to pursue PSM, right? But our main aim is to give you the knowledge that you need to land your first job in the tech ecosystem, all right? So I don't know whether that answers your question, Onyinye. All right, do you have any other question from anyone? You can type it in the chat box. Yes, thank you, amazing. You can type it in the chat box, or you can use the raise hand icon and I'll ask you to unmute. All right, so I'm waiting. We are way past our closure time and we are gradually coming to the point where we'll call it a day. Hi, Josephine, are you still there? Do you have any closing remarks for everyone on the call before we move on?
Yes. Thank you so
All right,
much,
have the floor.
Chukwemeka. My closing remark is very simple. So when I transitioned into Scrum, I just wanted to be a tech six and enjoy the tech money. For me, it wasn't the passion. So I'm just gonna say, oh, I had a passion to be a Scrum Master. I love Scrum. Yeah, later on over the years, we started working on interesting projects, and you're proud of the projects that are out there. People can download this project in the iOS or Android store, and you're happy to see your project, solving basic life problems. But the main thing is that I just wanted to earn that money, have good financial strength and just be able to take care of myself, basically. So the first thing is land this money, make good money. You don't need to be a software engineer to earn as much as that. Being a Scrum Master positions you to earn premium, and you're in demand, which is great. The fact that you can work with a whole lot of industry, not just to the tech industry alone, which is great. And the fact that you have in-depth knowledge working with all the skill sets. So at some point, you also become technical because you're going to be working with software engineers, you're going to be working with DevOps engineers and all the skill sets in the tech ecosystem. So you, at some point, become well-grounded technically. It's to come to you naturally as you get on the job. So, hey, get into my WhatsApp group of earning that premium money first, and then we start loving the project. But I want to see you in the cohort, this cohort. Let's see you there, and let's talk more about Scrum. I love you guys. Over to you, Chukwu.
All right. Thank you so much for that. All right. Thanks so much for that closing remark, Josephine. And I don't know if there's another person that wants to say anything before we call it a day from here. Any comments, any clarification? This is your time to speak. Okay, Roger is saying, I have already registered for data science. Okay, Roger, and you are wondering whether I should do data science Scrum Master. All right, when you upload your receipt of payment, there's an option for you to select to speak with a professional. So what we do is that when we talk to people that have made payment and they are not really sure of the career path that they want to go, we sort of look at their history, look at what their background is, and then we sort of give a professional advice to what we feel that they should go for, right? And this is just for people that have issues with clarity, right? So you've already made payments, you just need clarity to how you want to, move on. You can always select that option of you want to speak to a professional, and we are going to be in touch with you and invite you to a clarity session where we discuss these things. All right. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being on the call to this moment. By virtue of you being here, it means that you are actually interested in any of this program, right? And what I always advise people is that the best time to get into the tech ecosystem is right now. And the best other time to get into the tech is when there is a scholarship discount, right? And what happens most time after some of this session is that these slots are easily taken, right? These slots are easily taken. So I advise you to take advantage of the scholarship program and be able to get into the tech ecosystem as a Scrum Master. Thank you everyone so much for still being with us. And this is the point where we call it a day. Cheers everyone, and do have a wonderful night rest. Bye guys, see you in class. Yeah, Adam.
Okay, I think Lekon you just drop it.
All right.